write the expression in radical form or write the radical in exponential form. So here we have number 1, and number 1, we have here a root with an index of 2 of 22. So to write this in rational exponential form, we are going to use our base of 22, and our power is going to be 1 over 2. Right. What am I doing here? I'm putting the root index of 2 into the denominator, and because this entire term is not raised to a power, what we're going to use for the numerator is 1. Okay. If this was all raised to a power of 4, then our numerator would be 4. If it was all raised to the power of 13, our numerator here would be 13. So the root index goes in the denominator, and then the power that the term is raised to goes to the numerator. In this case, power was raised to 1. Let's go ahead and look at the next one, number 2. We have 7w to the power of 1/2. And so here we have a rational exponential form, right? A base raised to a rational exponent, and we need to convert it into radical form. So how do we do that? Right? We go ahead and write the base under the square root. The denominator of the square root is our root index. And remember, if we write a square root and there's no root index, then it is a root index of 2. So in this case, we don't need to write the root index, right? 2. And this is all going to be raised to the power of the numerator, which is 1. But we all know that any base raised to the power of 1 is just that base, so we don't need to put the power of 1 there. Right? So that's it. Let's go ahead and look at this one here. We have 2 times the square root of x. This is in radical form, and we need to convert it into rational exponential form. So we don't do anything to the 2, but we can convert the square root x into its rational exponential form. Right? So this is going to be 2 times x to the power, and so we're just looking at this. What is that raised to? Right? That's raised to the power of 1. So that's going to go in my numerator, 1. And then what goes in the denominator is the root index of that square root. And so since there is no root index, our denominator is going to be 2. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. It's the same kind of a deal. All of this to the power of 1. So we are going to rewrite this as 3xyz parentheses, because all of these terms are multiplied together and are under the square root. Right? So we got 3 times x times y times z, all under the square root. So the power applies to all of them multiplied to each other. And then we're going to take what this is all raised to the power of, which is 1, and put that in the numerator. And then we're going to take the root index, the 2, and put that in the denominator, like that. Okay, let's look at this one here. We have 27, and so we're going to put 27 underneath the square root. And the denominator goes into the root index. And since we have a denominator of 3, we need to write out explicitly that this is the root index is 3. Right? And then our numerator is 2, so that means all of this to the power of 2. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Right? We have 16, let's bring that out of the square root. And what is placed in the numerator is what this term is raised to the power of. And so this is raised to the power of 1, so that's going to go in our numerator. And what goes in the denominator is the root index, 4. So 16 to the power of 1 over 4.